At 2200 hours local time on October 6, 2025, mere hours before Vladimir Putin's 73rd birthday, the frozen expanse of Siberia's Tyumen Oblast lay quiet under a blanket of early winter frost. Deep in the heart of this remote region, the Antipinsky Oil Refinery, a sprawling industrial colossus valued at over $2 billion, operated at full throttle. This facility, capable of processing 340,000 barrels of crude oil daily into vital diesel, gasoline, and jet fuel, was a linchpin in Russia's war-sustaining economy. Workers in insulated suits patrolled the perimeter, monitoring distillation towers soaring 50 meters high, and massive storage tanks holding 500,000 tons of volatile hydrocarbons. The air hummed with the steady rhythm of pumps pushing oil at 3,000 psi through hydrocracking units. No alarms blared. Radar screens showed clear skies. After all, Tyumen was 2,100 kilometers, over 1,300 miles, from the Ukrainian border, deeper into Russia than any previous strike. The site manager, sipping hot tea in the control room, felt secure behind layers of defenses. Pantsir S-1 anti-aircraft systems dotted the horizon, their missiles locked and loaded for threats above 50 meters altitude. They'd evaded Western sanctions by rerouting exports through shadowy deals with China and India, keeping the rubles flowing to fund Moscow's invasion. Freedom from the front lines seemed absolute in this isolated Siberian outpost. But 2,100 kilometers away, in fortified Ukrainian bunkers near the eastern border, a different scene unfolded. Intelligence officers from the Security Service of Ukraine and GUR military intelligence huddled over glowing monitors, finalizing coordinates gleaned from satellite imagery, defector tips, and real-time OSINT from X-posts tracking Russian logistics. This wasn't a random hit. It was part of Ukraine's escalating DeepStrike campaign aimed at crippling Russia's oil infrastructure amid ongoing gasoline shortages and export surges. The drones selected for this mission were a sophisticated arsenal. The long-range Lyuty models, equipped with 150-kilogram-shaped charge warheads for maximum penetration. Beaver variants optimized for endurance, cruising at 200 kilometers per hour with extended battery life for 4+ hours of flight, and swarms of cheap Gerbera decoys to overwhelm enemy radars. Each drone, pieced together from commercial Alibaba components, smuggled Western chips, and Ukrainian ingenuity, cost under $10,000, a fraction of the billions they'd destroy. Operators, elite pilots trained in high-fidelity simulators, synced pre-programmed waypoints accounting for wind shear, fuel burn rates of 5 liters per hour, and thermal gliding to extend range. Russia's massive October 5th barrage, over 500 drones and missiles slamming Ukrainian energy grids, even targeting a maternity hospital in Sumy, had depleted interceptor stockpiles and stretched air defenses thin. Ukraine saw the opening, retaliation timed for maximum impact on Putin's birthday. At 2020-30, the command echoed through headsets. Launch sequence green. Swarm Alpha airborne. Twin electric turbofans whirred to life on the lead Lyuty, propelling it upward at a 15-degree climb angle. The swarm ascended, 20 heavy hitters bound for Antipinsky, escorted by 50 decoys to bait and confuse. This was no mere raid, it was a record-shattering assault, pushing the boundaries of drone warfare to unprecedented depths. Let's break down the mechanics of this audacious operation. As the first wave cleared Ukrainian airspace, operators in blast-resistant bunkers 300 kilometers behind the lines gripped joysticks, eyes locked on high-definition video feeds transmitted via jamming-resistant fiber optic cables. These weren't hobbyist quadcopters. The Lyuty drones featured advanced inertial navigation systems, combining gyroscopes and accelerometers for precise dead reckoning, even if GPS jammed. Fuel efficiency was paramount for the 2,100-kilometer trek. Engines tuned to sip at optimal altitudes, leveraging rising thermals over the steps to conserve power. A single miscalculation in headwind resistance could doom a drone to an early crash in no man's land. But these crews had rehearsed endlessly, factoring in variables like air density drops in Siberian cold, which could reduce range by 10%. The swarm formation was tactical. Heavies in the core, decoys fanning out to create electronic noise.
1 hour post-launch, the lead drone approached the Russian border near Belgorod, skimming at a mere 10-meter altitude to exploit radar shadows created by Earth's curvature. A standard hilltop radar like the Pilot K1, capable of detecting targets 200 kilometers away at higher altitudes, blind spots anything below 12 kilometers line of sight. Pure physics turning terrain into a shield. But Russian defenses weren't idle. Border alerts triggered as anomalous blips appeared on scopes. UAV intrusion detected, multiple vectors inbound, blared in Moscow command centers. MiG-31 interceptors scrambled from distant bases. There are 33 missiles ready for Mach 4 pursuits. Yet at top speeds, these jets guzzled fuel, limiting patrols to 1,500 kilometers round trips. Tyumen was pushing their operational envelope. The Ukrainian operator, sweat-beading despite the bunker chill, initiated evasive protocols. A hard jink left to clear an unseen radio tower by mere inches. The drone's compass spinning wildly from residual electromagnetic pulses of nearby jammers. INS kicked in seamlessly, guiding by internal sensors while optical cameras scanned for landmarks like winding rivers or highway intersections. Behind the leader, decoys sacrificed themselves. Inexpensive Gerberas drawing anti-aircraft fire, exploding in brilliant 23mm shreds from Zu-23 guns mounted on checkpoints. Tracers arced through the darkness like lethal fireworks, illuminating the night sky in brief, chaotic bursts. Statistics favor the swarm. With 70 drones total in this vector, even a 20% attrition rate from flak meant the heavies pressed on. Deeper into Russian territory around 0100 over the industrial hubs of Nizhny Novgorod, the electronic warfare intensified. Repellent 1 jammers stationed at key choke points flooded the airwaves with 400 watts of broadband noise across control frequencies. Operator screens flickered, video feeds degrading to pixelated 480p as interference nibbled at the edges. Autonomous mode engage, the command snapped. These drones were engineered for resilience. Frequency hopping spread spectrum tech jumped between 128 channels per second in a pseudo-random sequence synced only to Ukrainian controllers. Jamming disrupted individual hops, causing momentary frame drops, but never severed the link entirely. Annoying, but survivable. A nearby Pantsir S1 battery acquired lock, launching a staggered salvo of 6 missiles. The first at 50 meters altitude, second at 30 meters, third at 10 meters, creating a 3-dimensional death box of overlapping kill zones. Each missile, weighing just 12 kilograms, packed a fragmentation warhead with 200 tungsten spheres expanding outward at 1,800 meters per second, forming a 10-meter lethal cloud tailored for small UAVs. Proximity fuses emitted radio pulses, detonating on detecting sufficient metal mass. But the Liu-T operator, a veteran of dozens of sims studying Panzer engagements, exploited a critical vulnerability: the missile's 1.2-second arming delay, a safety feature to prevent premature blasts near the launcher. At 432 kilometers per hour top speed, the drone covered 144 meters in that window. Spotting launch flares on the thermal cam, he dove straight toward the battery, passing under the missiles as their safeties held. By arming time, the drone was below and beyond, turning Russian engineering against itself. Leveling out at 5 meters, treetop height, the drone slipped beneath the Pantsir's gun depression limit of -5 degrees. The system's twin 30mm cannons cycled at a blistering 5,000 rounds per minute, attempting boxing tactics, rectangular fire zones predicted by fire control computers. But lag was fatal. 1.5 seconds for trajectory calculation, 0.5 for servo aiming, 1.5 for round travel time, totaling 3.5 seconds. The drone pivoted course every 2 seconds, ensuring the solutions were always outdated. Desperate water hose spirals expended thousands of rounds into empty air. 0 impacts registered. The swarm emerged unscathed, pressing toward the Urals. Now the real challenge, traversing the Ural Mountains, a natural barrier where altitudes fluctuated and winds gusted unpredictably. As dawn crept in around 0300, thermal inversion layers formed. Cool ground air trapped beneath warmer upper strata, causing shimmering distortions in infrared signatures. The drone's electric motors generated minimal heat, just 10 degrees Celsius above ambient, allowing them to blend seamlessly with the warming landscape on Russian IR scanners. Checkpoints along remote highways buzzed to life. Soldiers, alerted via telegram chains faster than official radios, poured out like disturbed ants. AK-74s chattering at the distinctive electric whine overhead. At 10 meters altitude, the drones threaded invisible corridors of safety, statistics playing out harshly. 1 in 5 decoys fell to concentrated small arms fire, spiraling into fields with undetonated warheads. But the heavies endured, their operators maintaining visual lock despite salt spray and vibration fogging lenses. Intel briefings had warned of a potential glitch. A newly deployed Book M3 medium-range SAM battery guarding Tyumen's approaches. Its phased array radar capable of tracking 36 targets simultaneously out to 120 kilometers. As the lead Liutai crested a final ridge, the operator's screen filled with the unexpected. Missile launchers in ambush positions not marked on maps. 4 seconds to react. Abort and waste the mission, or commit? Deciding bold, he dispatched the decoy wave first, flooding the Buck's scopes with ghost contacts. The system fired, its missiles guided by semi-active radar homing, proximity fuses pulsing for metal detects. But Ukrainian tactics countered with random vector changes every 2 seconds, throwing off the Buck's Kalman filtering algorithms, mathematical models that predict future positions, by blending past data with physics constraints. The TK-25E electronic countermeasure suite activates, blasting 200 watts across a broad spectrum from 20 megahertz to 40 gigahertz, aiming to sever control links. Standard RC drones would drop instantly, but these Ukrainian beasts employ frequency-hopping spread spectrum, leaping 128 channels per second in a secret pseudo-random pattern. Interference causes pixelation and frame drops, but sequential blocks are rare. Feeds hold at usable 480p. The refinery manager, now alerted by manual spotters, orders evasive protocols, but a static 10,000-ton facility can't dodge like a ship. S-turns aren't an option here. The lead drone, at 500 meters out, switches to full manual. Its operator's screen fills with the 6-meter radar mast housing critical electronics. Deck guards with PKM machine guns open fire from catwalks, but physics dooms them. The drone crosses their field of view in 0.8 seconds. Human reflexes lag, 0.2 seconds to focus, 0.3 to track, 0.2 to aim, leaving them blasting at retinal afterimages, bullets splashing harmlessly into the tundra. The Pantsir cannons can't depress below -5 degrees. At 200 meters range and 3-meter altitude, trigonometry places the drones safely under their firing arc. Impact. The Liutai's 150-kilogram shape-charged warhead detonates on contact, harnessing the Monroe effect. A precisely engineered copper cone crushed by explosives into a hypersonic jet of molten metal at 7,000 meters per second. This plasma lance punches through 15-millimeter steel plating like tissue paper, spraying incandescent fragments across control panels and electrical junctions. Radars blank out instantly. Communication suites fry, severing data links to Moscow. Secondary strikes follow in rapid. A Beaver variant targets the missile-like storage tanks at frames, analogous to a ship's 44 to 52, its jet rupturing high-pressure hydraulic lines at 3,000 psi. Fluid arcs across sparking panels, igniting arc fires that race through conduits. Coolant systems burst, releasing toxic hydrazine derivatives into the blaze. Most critically, safety interlocks on volatile hydrocarbon stores fail, triggering a domino chain reaction. 500,000 tons of crude and refined products ignite in cascading explosions, fireballs soaring 100 meters, illuminating the Siberian night like an artificial dawn. Local ex-posts from Tyumen residents flood in. 2 massive explosions shook the city, mobile networks disrupted for hours. Smoke plumes, visible 50 kilometers away, choke the sky as emergency crews battle the inferno. The flames rage unchecked for hours, transforming the 2 billion Antipinsky into a smoldering ruin. By dawn on October 7th, Putin's birthday, local channels report mobile outages and evacuations. But Russian officials downplay. 3 drones downed, no casualties, explosions or fires. All operations normal. Yet insider leaks and ex-eyewitnesses contradict. Distillation columns warped, water systems shattered, processing halted at 340,000 barrels daily. This strike joins a wave. Ukraine's October 6 swarm of 251 drones hit 14 regions, including Feodosia in Crimea, largest oil terminal ablaze, and Belgorod blackouts affecting 1.5 million. Broader campaign tallies, 16 refineries targeted in August-September, slashing 123 million tons annual capacity, 38% of Russia's total per analyses. Sanctions exacerbate. No quick Western parts for repairs, estimating 18 months minimum. Russia's response? Surge in raw crude exports to offset lost refining, but domestic fuel bans loom, straining military logistics. Gasoline shortages bite harder, war economy bleeding. Ukraine's $10,000 Alibaba-sourced drones humble a $500 million empire asset, asymmetric warfare at its finest. DeepStrikes exposing Russia's vast vulnerabilities. No corner safe. To recap this game changer, Ukraine's record 2,100-kilometer drone blitz on October 6th torched Tyumen's Antipinsky, flames devouring billions and crippling Russia's oil lifeline. A birthday gut punch to Putin, degrading 40% refining capacity amid escalating strikes. Masterful tactics turned distance into defeat. If this ignited your interest, comment on the next epic we decode. Hit subscribe, like, and share the Frontline Fire.